for to
It's
go
okay,
live.
it's nice.
Oh, here we are. Hey, we're live. I see live 02 back at the top. So that countdown was pretty fancy, but we can't talk during the countdown. We just learned that. I was talking to you, and you were looking at me like, what is going on?
I couldn't hear anything, yeah.
Welcome,
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything.
Rise Up Nation. We're here for another live stream. Here we are live. We got viewers all over the place. We're in coastal South Carolina. Here, I'm looking at trying to get all my stuff straight here. Let me just let's get this one going right here because there we go. At least we got a banner going. We are here with Rise Up in Real Estate. Just so you know, this is our podcast, but we do it this season. We're doing a live stream, just interviewing different people live, trying to figure out really our flow, kind of getting to know each other and people hopping on different places. There's a couple of places that's being streamed on Facebook, a couple places on YouTube. Tracy, were you able to figure out how to get it on YouTube or no?
No, it wouldn't connect either account. So whatever. Just tell me if there's any comments so I can.
Oh, I will. Whenever we get comments. Listen, there's several of you out there already watching. I can see that. If you guys want to throw some comments, Tracy wants to know if anybody cares. But today we have an incredible opportunity, and we've not done this before where we just had one of. This is a lot. When you got to have questions from Vince and I, and then the crowd, this is a lot. So we'll try not to get too far. The only thing I can think that would be more is if we added David Scott on here, then it would get really interesting. Who's our coach?
Chad and I come with disclaimers, and we got you sandwiched right now. So good luck.
Yeah, this is going to be fun for you. So we wanted to introduce to you our newest director at RE/MAX Southern Shores, RE/MAX Professionals, basically just our community of people. And her name is Traci. We've got some people. Look at this. We got some people making comments. Look, good morning, Rise Up Nation. We got Jenny saying hi.
Oh, that's my mom.
That's your mom? Let's bring Jenny back up on there. Look at there.
Hey,
good
Jenny.
grief. So Tracy's mom, dad, sisters, the whole crowd, the whole family's on here. So not that I'm nervous or anything at all.
She's a sewer who sews.
I personally love that she was able to figure out the YouTube connection and I couldn't. So
yeah. I'm pretty impressed by that. It's interesting to me that, let me see if this might be somebody else you know. I'm not sure.
My sister.
Is that your sister? I could have guessed that. So anyway, we have brought so Traci is our newest director, and I could go in, we could talk couldn't we, Vince? We could talk for hours. When we make a hire, everything we do here is by design, not by accident. We don't hire. As a matter of fact, the faces on this screen today, except for Katie, I'll get rid of Katie for a second. She's not one of those faces right now, but the faces on our screen didn't happen by accident. Vince, our journey to when you came on board here was a journey, right? It was a self-discovery and learning about each other. And it's exactly the same way with Traci. Like Traci and I met. She was an agent with RE/MAX in another state. She's going to tell us her story, but we met at a coffee shop, and we were actually in Barefoot Landing when we first met at that Starbucks there right outside of Barefoot. And there was a lockdown on Barefoot because there was an active shooter. So she and I were like safe at the Starbucks doing our thing. And that was how long ago, Traci? 2 years ago?
2 years ago. It was, it just happened 2 years ago this past summer. So yeah, we're just out of 2 years knowing each other.
Yeah. The amazing thing was that there was no job at that point. There was no relationship at that point, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Look, we got a Rick Mitchell. Do you know this person?
It's my dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Rick.
Mr. Mitchell. It's nice to see you. I'll see. It's just look at this. Look, we got another one. Oh, Jerry's got a question already. We're going to bring back that in a second, Jeremy. But here's
Callie's here. Callie's
on the show. Callie, good morning. Thank you for being here. But I wanted to bring Traci on. I thought this would be a good thing to do, Vince. It's just since it isn't by accident, and we do this and I've just been so impressed already, Traci, with your coming on board. But tell us a little bit about your story. Like, where were you born? Give us some of that good stuff that happens before now. Like, what made you who you are? And thank you for being on the show and being able to be put on the spot. We love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. So I've been watching your show. So I am a Rise Up Nation fan. And yeah, I've been watching. I'm excited to be here. So thanks everybody for watching too, joining in. I sent links to my family to make sure that they were, at least I had somebody here. So I was born and raised in Parkersburg, West Virginia. So I'm a West Virginia girl. Moved to Richmond, Virginia for a little while after that. Ended up in Ohio, had been there for the last about 24 years. And then just like 2 weeks ago, we made our full-time move down here. So we've had a house in Barefoot for 6 years. It was our vacation home. And after some things happened in Ohio with my real estate business and life, we just decided that we wanted to be here full time. So you can hear my dogs. This is their morning fight time. I'm sorry, it's bulldog morning activity time. So I apologize.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't sure what was going on under your desk. It was a very interesting noise. It sounded weird on my end, but yeah, we talked about this before. She said, "Should I leave? Should I go outside?" I said, "No, this is real life. This is live stream. I mean, who knows what might go on that beautiful patio behind Vince? These are real backdrops. This is not fake backdrop,
there's
right?
An airplane flying over. Look, there's a lot of shows out there with fancy mics and lighting and all that. That's great. We could do some of that, but like we want to bring it raw, who we are.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. So
That's
let
what
the
we should call
dogs
this.
play. Let the birds chirp. We're here.
Rise up.
I feel like I have a pretty interesting real estate story. Can I tell you all that?
That's why
I
we're
wish
here.
you would. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I just kind of want everybody to, I can tell everybody at one time. And then if somebody wants to watch the video later, then I just say, play the video and everybody can see my story. So I started out at 21, working in a real estate company in West Virginia. I was the copy girl. I went in 2 days a week for 5 hours a day, and I made copies. That was during the time, so that was maybe, 1996-ish. I went in, I had to make copies of all the contracts. I made files for everyone. So, everybody came in the office, agents, at the time, you had to pick up your packet. There was no dot loop, there was no virtual anything. There were barely computers. It was literally take a copy from the little slot and make sure you had everything in order. You take it to your clients. They hand signed everything. Sometimes you would take 2 copies so you could leave them a copy there. So I was the copy girl. I made copies for them and made sure everybody had what they needed. Soon, some of the agents started saying, "Hey, Traci, could you do a couple extra things for me?" I was only in the office 10 hours a week. So they thought, well, maybe she could help us in other ways. So I worked as an assistant for 5 or 6 agents. I'd work, let's say the morning would be for one agent, the afternoon would be for another agent, but I would do their flyers. I would take signs to houses, put lock boxes on doors, that kind of stuff. I would enter their listings at MLS, just anything that they needed to help with. I did mailings for them. I did all kinds of things. So it got to the point where the owner manager said, "Hey, Traci, these agents are really enjoying you helping them. You would be good at this. Why don't you get your license?" And I was like, I guess I could. And they said, "Why don't we pay for you to get your license?" And I said, "You're paying, I'm doing it." So went to West Virginia University, got my real estate license through them, got my training through them, and then took my test and got my license in 1999 in West Virginia. That was very quickly. Then we moved to Virginia. I was only there a few months, but I worked as a property manager there for a few months. Then we moved to Ohio. In Ohio, I got a job as a secretary and admin, office manager type person for a real estate company. Did that for a few years. My son was born in 2002. And so my ex-husband we worked opposite shifts. So he worked afternoons, I worked mornings. So I'd go in at 9, I'd work till about 3. I'd come home, be with my son, and my ex would go to work and work until about 11 at night. That's another one of my sisters. I have 4 sisters, by the way. So I'm the oldest of 5 daughters. So we might see a lot of faces that look a little bit like mine.
You're helping our viewership so much. I appreciate. We should have had you on the show 5 seasons ago. There's your mom telling you how organized you are. That's incredible. I love it. Love it. Love it. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. So I don't even remember where I was.
11 o'clock at night. He was getting home.
Yep, we worked opposite shifts. So at that time, it was an independent company, and they came in and had a corporate out of town company want to buy them, and they did. They sold to them. The owner was a little older, ready to slow down and retire, so he sold to that company. I was still the office manager for them. They came in. This company said, oh, you only work until 3:00. You're really considered part-time. Like, we're not going to give you any of those benefits that you had before. I was very lucky, and the owner of the company saw that I was able to get my work done in that time, and that I was a value to them, and that it was important for me to be able to be with my son those couple extra hours in the afternoon and not send him to daycare or get a babysitter or something. And we figured it out. We made it work. But this new company came in and was very corporate, and they said, nope, we're sorry, we can't do that. You're either going to need to work until 5, or we're only going to pay you and give you those part-time benefits. So I had been doing some assistant work for an agent in the office on my off hours. And I said to her, her name was Mary Beth Henthorne. She's like a second mom to me, one of my favorite people in the world. I learned everything about real estate from her, and I'm truly blessed to have had her in my life. So definitely my mentor. So I said to Mary Beth, what about me, like, being full-time assistant? Like, and she's like, sure. She's like, go get your license. She's like, I'll pay for you to get your Ohio license. So in 2004, I got my Ohio license and became a full-time assistant for her for a few years. She retired, I don't know, somewhere around maybe 09, 2010. And I kind of took over her business. So I did that for a little while. I joined RE/MAX in very close to that. Mary Beth retired, and I wanted to stick around with her clients for a little bit. But I joined RE/MAX not too long after that. Good friend of mine owned the local RE/MAX, and I was just impressed by them. So I joined RE/MAX, and then a few years after that, I liked the progression of learning. I like to learn. And so, I'm sorry, something must be outside.
No problem. We can hear you perfectly. Just to keep talking.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like learning, and so I just feel like there's a power in always like making yourself better, doing better. So I decided I wanted to get my broker's license. In Ohio, you have to have a degree, and I did not have a degree. I had gone to college for a couple years after high school, but had not finished anything up. So I went to Penn State online. I did online classes and finished up my associate's degree. And then I was able to finish my broker's classes, take my broker exam, and I got my broker's license in 2017. Very soon after that, the principal broker in Ohio decided to retire. And so the owner of the company there said, we need a broker. Would you do this? And I said, I'd be happy to. I'd love to do that. And that's where it started. So I quickly went from just a principal broker to a full everything all day kind of a person. I did their onboarding. I did all of their training. I solved agent issues. I did it all except for the money. Somebody else took care of the money, but that's, that's just a piece. So, so that's where I got to. I've been their principal broker since 2017. I'm actually going to continue to be that Ohio broker for a few months. They are training some people to do the jobs that I did. And they are, one of the owners is taking her broker classes so that she can become the principal broker there. So it's double duty. Oh, Lori, I'm sorry.
How does that feel, Traci? Like, that was your baby for, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah.
And,
it was hard. I actually ultimately thought that probably would end up as my business someday. I thought that I would end up being the owner there. And some things happened and changed, and it just wasn't in the cards. And so that dream kind of fell to the side. And I truly believe, when one door closes, another opens. So here's my open door.
Yeah. So what you guys don't know, and you can tell just by listening to her story, that why I would have been interested in hiring her, having her part of our family. Hiring even sounds like the wrong word. It's almost like I don't know what the word we need to use, but that makes it sound too employee-employer relationship. We wanted you to be in the family. We wanted to adopt you. Maybe that's what it's called, adoption instead of hiring. Because she's just a can-do person. Like, every opportunity she had, when the door was open, she walked through it. When the window was open, she pushed it the rest of the way and climbed in. And you built yourself. You've been doing real estate a long time. That's amazing. And you're only 29. I don't know how you did it. But
right?
What's cool is, Vince, you didn't get to see this part of it, but I'll share this with you and whoever's listening. And by the way, family and friends that are out there. Jeremy, I saw your question. We'll get back to that in a second. But if you guys want to let us know something about Traci that she might not let us know, family, hop up and put that in the comments. And if you guys want to know something about Traci that you might not know, Bruce and Lori, Callie, any of you that are watching for the first time, just anything curious. But what happened was this, Vince. I got very interested in adopting Traci. And I started, and this is how it goes. This is how I got with Vince. Got very interested in adopting Vince, and I started talking to my wife about it. She gets this look on her face like, okay, here we go again. Well, I'll remind everyone that's exactly what I did with Rennie. It's exactly what I did with, that's exactly what I did with Ashley. That's exactly what I did. Harmony was before me, so I can't take, that's exactly what I did with Richard. It's exactly what we did with Terry Branson. So this is the one thing I know how to do is recognize talent. And when I recognized that in Traci, I was like, my goodness, let's get this ball rolling. Well, little did I know, she was in a situation where she had an opportunity maybe to purchase the brokerage that she was working in Ohio. And so I had to back it down. I had to go. And I remember having this conversation with myself in the mirror. I was like, look, if you are the right kind of human, you will support her regardless of how bad you want to adopt her. You will support her in trying to acquire this thing if it's right for her. So that's what I tried to do. I don't know if it came across that way or not, Traci, but I just took a second seat, started supporting her. I started giving her the questions that we would have asked if we were doing an acquisition like hers. I introduced her to some people to do values. And Traci, I don't know how that felt to you, but to me, I was like, I wanted you, but I also wanted to let you do your thing. You and Mike kind of explore what avenue was there. I hope you felt that.
Absolutely. We felt that. And Tad, that's when you became a friend. So I was starting to trust you, taking advice from you, those types of things. And that's where that relationship was built. And so that once that door was closed, it was so easy for this door to open and to walk through it. So yeah, you were very supportive and helpful. And you said it multiple times, like, as much as I want you here in South Carolina, like I want what's best for you. And I want you guys to be able to make that decision for yourselves. And no, you were very, very helpful for us. So thank you. Thank you.
No,
you became a friend.
It was hard. I'll be transparent. It was hard because that's what I knew that was what we wanted to do. I did want that for you, but I also wanted you here. So good. It worked out perfect for me. Here's a great comment. Traci's one of the kindest people you'll ever meet. This is from a sister. Listen to this. I don't know what you paid Katie to say this, but not all sisters feel this way. She loves her family fiercely and is always the first one to help. She's always looking for opportunities to serve. Those of you that are at RE/MAX Southern Shores and RE/MAX Professionals are super lucky to have her on board because she doesn't know how to treat anybody not like family from what I can see already. So, Katie, thank you for making us aware of that.
She's going to make me cry.
I see that. I knew that would happen. When you told me your family was going to be on here, I'm like, you cry. Every time I talk to you, Traci, you cry. You're very
I do.
Yeah,
I am.
Jeremy's throwing some more questions in, but it's cool the way you use the word adopted, Tad, because that is a direct link to like family, right? So Tad's adopted a lot of us. He's really broke at Christmas. It's awesome. No, but seriously, you've got your family on here. We've got some of your new RE/MAX Southern Shores family on here. And so Callie, Lori, Bruce, all you guys out there that are watching, this is your chance to hit Traci with a question.
Here's a good one, Jeremy. There's the one from Jeremy right there. I'll get back to your other one too, Jeremy, because although we're not agents, we certainly can pipe in there. One thing you wish Myrtle Beach had that you love back home, Traci? Anything you really miss yet?
I did love snow. So, and I didn't love having to get out and drive and that kind of stuff, but I will miss some snow. So I'm going to have to plan some vacations for snow time. But yeah, Jeremy, that's it, the snow. But I have a feeling I'm also not going to miss it. So
yeah, don't bring any with you. That's
right.
Yeah. I mean, now that you've said the word snow on our show, it will, there's probably going to be an e-learning day tomorrow, right, Jeremy? They'll do e-learning just because they heard the words. I mean, they're using e-learning more than I've ever could believe they would have ever used it. So Jeremy also asked a question. Maybe we can I'll let you guys answer this one. What's the number one thing agents should be doing right now in y'all's opinion to enhance their business that most aren't doing? Y'all have any, and even if any of the agents out there want to pipe in through the comments, I'll be happy to share it on the screen.
I'm here to train KV Core and dot loop and tech stuff, but I have to be honest, it's still the number one thing is that personal relationship with people. So one of the number one things that people aren't doing anymore, they're not picking up the phone. They're sending that text message. It's quicker. It's easier. It's less personal. So it's just easier to send a text or an email. Well, text nowadays, emails even aren't getting through. But that number one thing I still think is that personal relationship. Pick up that telephone and actually make that phone call. Leave the message, whatever it takes, but that personal one-on-one, that phone call, they can hear your voice. They can hear what you mean. It's important.
Yeah. So, Traci, I mean, you're here, right, for a reason. Okay. And like, so I hope everyone that's listening understands like the level and caliber of like talent you truly are. Right. And I know just from like the little bit you've been here and hearing Tad talk about you and Rennie talk about you and all that. So what did you say? Part of the reason that got you here was, Tad became a friend, I think you said, and you began to trust him and you began to lean on him and ask for advice and things. So there was never any real gimmick there or shiny object for you to chase to get here. It was, oh man, like I know, like, and trust this person now.
Absolutely.
And so there's some value there. So for agents, I don't see how it's any different, Tad. I don't know if you agree.
Bruce, you're right.
Yeah, Bruce, handwritten notes. I love that. 3 to 5 notes a day. Jeremy, I'd love to hear your opinion too. I know you probably had a reason when you asked the question what you're thinking. To me, I think it's interesting that it doesn't change for me. Like it didn't in the recession, during COVID, during 2004, when you could have sold an ice cube to an igloo. I mean, to a Eskimo. It's always the same for me. It's relationships. It is spending more money after the transaction than you do before the transaction. Like I think a lot of people are out there looking for the silver bullet and the gold nugget of the lead. That's the overused word in my opinion in our business. To me, it's what happens after. I heard somebody say the other day, what I thought was good. You don't get a customer to make a sale. You make a sale to get a customer. And I think that's like somebody told me I think it was Sean Austin told me he doesn't even consider somebody in their database until they've bought from him twice. He said the first time's kind of a bonus. Like everybody's going to buy from me once, but once they come back, that's when they become in his database a real client. So that's my opinion. And I know, Jeremy, you do a great job of that. You do generate a lot of business with your YouTube. We should shout that out. I know you don't want just out there shoppers on your YouTube that don't have any real estate value, but just eyeballs. But I know you've done a good job with generating leads, but you also have quite a repeat referral business. Lori could speak to repeat referral business. I know she's on here. What she does after she's had some quite life. Life happens and people just come back to you because of what you do. Traci, tell me, let me put you on the spot because I've gotten to know you a little bit. Let's get Jeremy. My main focus is building the relationships in my current database. YouTube does awesome lead gen, almost word for word what we just said. My goal is keeping his clients for life, and I think he does a great job of that. When's the first video you ever did, Jeremy? What year? If you can think of that, tell me. I think that's interesting. My first one, I think I've tracked it down to 2002. Was the first time I did my video. It was terrible. But Lori says almost all her business this year has been repeat clients. So here is, it's interesting. Traci, when you came to us, like when we had that conversation at Starbucks, you didn't know this, but I was already thinking, like I find myself on it's like the talent search for me. Like everybody I meet, I'm looking at. I have a meeting tomorrow with someone who we have no job for this person, but I just know this person's right for us, and eventually it'll happen. But that's how I felt with you. You didn't probably feel that for me in the very beginning. But the interesting thing about someone like you and my wife and Rennie is you are so gifted, and you're going to shake your head and laugh and blush, I know, but you have such a broad expanse of knowledge and can do all of it. The hard thing for us and for you is going to figure out where do you think your strengths are? Like where do you think you'll be most effective with our group of agents and with our community?
I already kind of feel where there might be a missing link happening. So I've already recognized that a couple agents have come to me already and they need a little bit of one-on-one help. They, this is a big ocean full of information and we have so many tools. And if you knew what they all were and you knew how to use them all, I mean, that's an amazing thing. But if somebody can just adopt one or two of those things, and make, really put those really into practice, somebody could change their business just by using one or two of those tools. But when all of those tools are thrown out and you see all of these classes on our calendar and so much information coming at you, how do you pick just one? It's very hard to just pick one thing. What should I be doing? What can I be doing? What's one of those things that I can learn and do it for myself? And every single agent is different. And so I've met one-on-one with a couple agents already, and they're appreciating that time. And I feel like I did that with my last brokerage. We had a whole lot less people, but I feel like that's somewhere where I can kind of step in and say, you know what, some of these people might need a little bit of individual care, and for them, that's what's important. And I think I can make a difference that way. So,
does that time energize you? Does it make you tired, or both?
No, I've been tired starting, do you know how hard it is, how mentally challenging it is to meet 250 new people and try to remember somebody's name and who likes certain jokes and who doesn't like jokes and who's all business and who you can tease with and who has kids and who has grandkids and who has dogs and it's energy. It is energy. So this moving for me, this learning new people and getting into a new routine is hard. It's exhausting, but every day that I do it a little bit more, it's getting easier and easier. But those one-on-ones definitely are energizing for me. I love to help people. And so when I see somebody can actually get something out of that, so, we teach classes, somebody might learn something in a class of 20 people or whatever. But when I sit with one person and teach them something and they learn that one thing and then they use that one thing, that just changes it for me. That makes everything worth it.
That's great. That's interesting. That's a tough one. That sometimes not everybody has that gift. I'm not great at that. Like I don't think I bring a lot of value one-on-one sometimes, but I know that you're energized by that.
It says a lot, Traci, about you already, that like you understand like it's important to know if like we have dogs or if we're all business or whatever. A lot of folks you bring in, they don't care, right? So not folks you bring in, Tad, just companies, right? When they're looking for support staff, as you could call ourselves, directors, whatever whatever it is. The fact that your brain's already going, it matters to me to know about you, already says that, we got it right. So I think that's pretty cool. And 2 years next month, and I don't know who has a dog and who doesn't, not because I don't care, but it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah. Well, we do. David challenges us to have a 15-round boxing match with every candidate that we entertain to adopt. I'll use that word now that I love it. And he said, you're trying to knock them out in every round. You're trying to eliminate them rather than try to talk them into something. And what I've learned in 20-something years is that if you're in a hire, and this can go for agents hiring assistants, agents hiring buyers agents, building a team. When you hire because you have to, you look at it from a different filter than you hire because you want to. Like literally when I met Vince, literally when I met Rennie, literally when I met Traci, literally when I met Ashley, I was thinking, and Terry, they will take us to a place I can't go by myself. And that's just the way it feels. Like I know we don't have a job. That's what I have to explain to Rennie and Mandy. I know there's no job there yet, but eventually, if you get the right person, they create their own. I mean, she's already created her own job, by the way. I want to share this real quick before I forget because I'm getting behind on the comments. Jeremy, first video 2008, his 250th video tonight. Congratulations, Jeremy. That's incredible. 65th. Look at that number of subscribers. I've got like 12 and a half.
It was number 6,000 on the dot.
That's 6,000. You were number 6,000?
I was in there watching this little ticker, and it was 599, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be 6. So
that's pretty cool. And then he says, I love that. If you pick your one thing and stick to it. Jeremy could share how long it took for YouTube to get traction for him. I've heard so many people say, I've tried that. But it took him a minute. And if you stick to it, I think that's the key. And Lori says, I've moved state to state twice. Both times I've had school-age children. If you need any help adjusting, let me know. That's for you, Traci, not for me.
Thank you, Lori.
Y'all have dogs. Y'all should get together. Y'all would maybe they would bark at each other. Here's
Love
Bruce.
this from Bruce.
Yeah, very inconsistent. Joined Buffini last week. How about that? Somebody who's got his license in 1884, Bruce. He's joined Buffini. I'm pretty proud of you, man. Way to go.
Like, this is a guy who sold a ton of real estate and is a staple in North Myrtle Beach specifically. Still wanting to learn, still admitting, I haven't been consistent. It's going to cease. Putting that in the atmosphere. Inconsistency will now cease. Declaring it. Love that. Way to go, Bruce.
Yeah, 18 years with the Remax, I think it is. Not many can say that. Good job. Yeah. And actually, Jeremy, that just out. Jeremy, he signed up with Buffini a few years, like last year, a year before, as if he needed it. Like he'd had the best 2 years of his life in business, and then he still. I mean, that's just huge testimonies to that kind of thing. Traci, I appreciate you being open. I know that coming here is a lot. Like we're a lot. And look, Lori, look, everybody's you got coached by Buffini. Jeremy says he's 3 years into it now. Let's see what this is.
Oh, look at that.
Look at there.
Oh, that's my husband.
Let's see the tears rolling. Look at Mike. Hey, Mike.
I don't even know where he is.
Wait, how is he doing that from an airplane? He's a commercial airline pilot. How in the
He's
world?
not. He landed about 9:30 and he leaves again about 11:30. So he had this time exactly in the middle to watch the show.
I was going to say keep your hands on the wheel, but I guess there's not a wheel.
Nope.
Mike, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday, Mike. I'm excited. Can't wait. But yeah, thank you for commenting. Yeah, we understand that. And when I met Traci, I felt that. I knew that was probably right. And then I've been, Traci, since you've been here, you don't have to do these things. Like you comment on my video, and you're either like a super brown nosing, or you're like really authentic. We're going to find out as time goes on. But there are some people that just like you're a magnet for. You're attractive. Like you just make people. You're likable.
I love people. I love people.
Yeah. Here's Mike's actually walking to his gate now at DCA. So fly safe, my friend. Fly safe. Proud to know you. I'll take care of those peeps. I know you will. But let's talk a minute, Traci, about how is it different? Like you came from an organization that there were, you had about 55 agents, if I remember the last time we talked, right?
Yep.
And one location, or did you have two? You had two locations?
We had 4 physical locations. 2 of those were team offices. So I would say we really had 2 offices. It doesn't matter. We had a few offices. So yeah, it's very different actually. I was able to do most of my stuff from kind of one spot. Now I'm driving all over the world. I just put it in the GPS. So people keep asking me which way did you take? I don't know. I just put it in the GPS and it got me there. Like, I don't know. Did you pass I have no idea. I didn't look. So someday, hopefully I'll know my way around a little bit better, but I'm not great with direction. So we'll just keep using the GPS until they take it away from me. But it's been
what's the biggest difference? It's just the number of people. Are you an introvert or an extrovert by nature?
I'm actually a little bit of an introvert. Yeah, I'm an introvert.
I
like to be the wallflower at the party, but I can certainly get out there if I have to. So yeah, naturally introverted. So
it's so interesting that introverts, like Lee Brown talked about this and I appreciated it. I don't know. I'm an extrovert, but introverts have more impact than extroverts in some ways. And it's backwards to me. Like I feel like I can speak to a big group of people and have a big impact, but Traci's the one they're going to remember. My wife's the one they're going to remember, like doing the little things. I mean, my wife, for crying out loud, hired our director of happiness. Like she had the foresight to say, all these people need love and care. I'm going to put this position and put a salary behind it and activities behind it, because she knew that that's what makes glue stick. Like, and that's who you are, Traci. That's how I know when Jeremy says he considers himself an introverted extrovert. Oh no, extroverted introvert. That's hilarious. I love that.
That's a good one.
That's for you, Traci. Like you're a little bit more introverted, but you pay attention. You hear.
That's why I like to know who's got kids and who's got dogs and all that. So
we had an expression in the military. We would say you want to be the quiet professional, right? And I remember always thinking like, well, I'll envy those guys because it's never going to be me. That's the quiet professional. But I was always, my roommate who in college, one of them who flies F-18s now. I mean, you couldn't pull words out of this guy, but the impact he always had at fraternity meetings or in the apartment room of who's paying what was always the highest impact, right? And he was a thinker, right? Just a big thinker. And it's not that we don't think, Tad, but here you are, an extrovert. Here I am. Tracy's like, I'm an introvert. It's week 2. Put me on screen. We're going to go live. We're going to ask you to talk, right?
But I do like to talk, though. But
yeah, exactly. So it's there's definitely a big impact there. Rennie teaches me 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? You have twice as many ears for a reason.
Yes, yes. I don't get that either. Here's one for you, Tracy. You mentioned relationships. Any book recommendations for people to read on that subject that you can think of? Or at least get back to
yeah,
Jeremy.
I'll get back to Jeremy. So we are, as leadership, reading a book right now called what's it called?
Hospitality book.
Yeah, the hospitality book. Unreasonable hospitality. I'm almost through that, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's set in restaurant world, but the guy can really, you can put this information into any business, any type of industry. So it's amazing. It's an amazing book on how you can do anything well. You can do something well, but this is about being extraordinary. And so hospitality is fantastic. You can say please, you can say thank you, you can bring someone their meal at the right time, but extraordinary hospitality is something different, and it sets you apart. And so that's what the book's about. So it's amazing. It's a good book. Almost done with it. I'll let you know how it goes. But Jeremy, read that one because it's a super quick read too. It's lots of stories, and you'll get a lot out of it.
Yeah. So that's Buffini's next module is on this book that we're talking about. The author of it is doing our next session, and that will be amazing. I could talk about this topic forever. I cannot go. Mandy and I can't go anywhere without evaluating good, bad service. It's just, it really is very eye-opening. Here's Deb. Deb, nice to see you on here. Deb is our CMN representative, and she said today's the beginning of Global Remax Week. And she wants to say she's always saying thank you to us because we get to help those babies, and it's really our pleasure, Deb. So thank you for volunteering to be on the show. We should have you on here sometime and talk you through because have you been to the hospital yet, Tracy? Have you ever visited?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I went to Florence last year. Last year I went to Florence. Deb led that, and so I got to meet her then. And then I went to the breakfast last week and got to see all the people that had donated so much this past year to CMN. We got to hear from a couple of the. One was the NICU nurse.
Yeah, Leslie. She's been 28 years on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I got to take her tour last year. She's amazing. She's amazing. She literally loves, it's not work to her at all. Like she wakes up and is excited to go to work. And she's just amazing. So I love hearing all the stories. And then, what was the other girl's name? Natalie. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she does some of their trauma nursing stuff, and it was impactful too. So yeah, it's impressive the stuff that you guys are all doing for CMN. So I'd love to be part of that too.
We were talking about that, Mandy and I, where we were riding somewhere the other day, to think about, and I don't know if Mandy's on here or not. I think she's teaching a vision boarding class, so she's not on here today, but she did like it the very, very beginning before her class. She popped on here. But I remember she told me the story of when she first bought her Remax franchise back in 2007, I guess it was. And she had to decide at that moment, there was no agents, but she had to decide at that moment if you're going to be a miracle office or not. And what that means to be a miracle office is you commit a little bit of every single closing for the history of your company. At that moment, she had to say, okay, I'm going to go, and it doesn't sound like that big of a deal until you realize you got every agent that you hire. And if you're going to be a company of 10, it's one thing, but every agent that you hire, you're going to have to tell that person part of every closing is going to go. And she decided $5 would be her amount, which is not, that's not even enough for a cup of coffee at Starbucks anymore. But it is a big deal when you get an agent in front of you and you say, oh, by the way, if you're going to have 40 closings next year, $5 of each one is going to go to. So she made that commitment early on. And it's crazy to me to think that today, and this is not tooting our horn, but it is tooting her horn, we're nearly $700,000 donated to Children's Miracle Network. And that's with, of course, the history of RE/MAX Southern Shores, which we acquired back then. They had their name and had a history. But that is just little. That's the compound effect that Darren Hardy talks about.
Exactly.
And now there's
if
almost
those little bits hadn't been put in all those years, like you wouldn't be where you are. So
yeah. And back then, $5 is a big deal. But I would venture to say not many people have only give $5 now.
Are only giving, right?
25 is a minimum, or 30 or whatever. And we had that breakfast, Deb. I know you had hosted that beautiful breakfast for us last week, and we had, I think there were 40 agents that were miracle agents from our company. Vince, you went. Tracy, did you go to that too? You were there.
I did. Yeah. It was a full packed room.
Yeah, it was
good.
Good.
And I thought it was just for us, but it was all the RE/MAX in the area. It just happened to be all of our agents, because we have talked about it and believe in it so much that it's part of who we are. It's in the fabric of our being. Jeremy, before I forget, Tracy, Jeremy wants to talk to you about water dogs. He doesn't know if it's in the book or not, but he said next time he sees you, he'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
And I know Lori White's got to know. Lori White's got to know what that means, I'm sure. So she'll be on that too. Deb says my wife is amazing. I was like, we know that. And I know, Deb, you're always so kind. And thank you for leading that charge. And I love it when I go to Costco or Walmart and they say, would you like to donate to CMN? I can say with confidence, in those two mega companies, I can say,
oh, we do.
We do our share. So that's awesome. Vince, what's it like from your perspective? This will be an interesting thing to get, because as a director's team, we all have to kind of do our thing at a certain level. What's it like adding a new director? Like for me, I'm hiring but I'm putting him in your circle. I'm saying, here you go. Here's another person that's going to carry some weight. And how does it affect you as a director? And what do you think and look for? Talk to me about accountability and all that stuff.
Sure. The answer to that question varies on the talent level of the hire, right?
Okay.
So in this case with Traci, you've instilled more confidence in the director team, right? It's clear, right? So I don't know. I'm big on energy and feeling people's energy. And when Rennie's in the room, there's an energy there. And if you don't know personally, I think Rennie's one of the most incredible people on the face of the planet. And when Traci's in the room, that energy is similar to me. So from someone who's like, oh, it's not like, oh, I have to work with this person now. It's I get to work with this person because those who are leading me have gone out and found a higher level talent that we are lucky enough to now have in the family. So for me, it's nothing but further confidence. And we're playing a really, really long game here at our company specifically. We're not here to do this for a little bit of time and then move on to the next thing or whatever. Like, we're all in this. So knowing that we have someone who's uprooted their life, who's moved, brought the 3 dogs, everything, feels really, really great. So yeah, I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but I'm excited. I think, as we do more episodes and as we know Traci better, and as we do this a year from now, I can answer that question better because I'll have experiences to go off of. But right now, I'm really, really confident in where we're headed with Traci, as part of the team.
But no pressure. I'm right here, so
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Well, what I was getting at is like we talk a lot about team performance, and those of you that are building teams will feel this and know this too. Your mom wants to say good luck. She might have some sewing to do. I don't know if she's hopping off or not, but thank you, Miss Guthrie, for being on the show. We appreciate you being there. If you
maybe she's saying good luck to Vince.
Yeah, probably so. Good luck. That's a good one. If you have any things you could tell us about Traci that we'd be surprised by, throw it out there. You're the mom, so you would have it. We'll be happy to share it. So what I was when we talk about team, I love watching sports teams. Not everybody does, but even a high performing team. And if an agent is building a team, if there's a buyer's agent or an administrator or transaction coordinator or attorney or lender, Vince, or the list goes on and on, that doesn't carry their weight, it affects the entire team.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of pressure for me to put a new person on the team because I want to make sure they've got to all, like what Traci does will enhance Vince's operation. He will be a better director of opportunity because he can trust that when he gives those people that trust us over to Traci and Rennie and Ashley, Harmony, and the list goes on, Heidi, the list goes on and on. He's got to be able to trust that it's gonna be taken care of the way that he and we all expect. And so that's the beauty of it. And we trust him to bring the right people to our organization. And he's gotten better at it over time and getting more dialed in. And you can see the productivity. I mean, Callie's on here. We've met Callie over a year ago, and she's now part of the fold, part of the family. And those things matter. And a lot of times I think in our business, I'm not sure there's that much communication between department heads, if you want to put it that way, where we're all on the same page. And what I love about this group is, listen, if somebody's down, what's going to happen in our organization?
I already know.
Up to the
lifting him up.
Yeah, it's scary, right? So for me, when someone comes in, I'm so invested, and it's hard. It's very hard. Dad will tell you, you know, too, Traci. And then it's like, okay, we've got the right person, and they believe we're right for them as well. So agents listening, just remember, not all clients are right for you. You're not right for all clients. That's okay. Same for us. Not all agents are right for us. We're not right for all agents, et cetera. Same with our staff. So once we've created that relationship, someone wants to join the company. We believe they're right for us. I believe they believe they're right for us as well. It's not a handoff. It's more of like, okay, we have to progress. Right. So for me, knowing that the next person they're going to contact is, you know, Ashley and Harmony and all that feels great. Right. And at first I didn't have that. I was like, hey, did you reach out? And everybody's like, Vince, like, we got it, you know? So I had to learn to trust. So I know you're going to slide right in there perfectly, but yeah, it's scary for me. And I know I'll never be able to like do what Harmony does or even keep up with Harmony, and the level of selflessness and unreasonable hospitality that she gives off. Now looking back, it's like, wow, what was I ever worried about? You know, what was I ever worried about? So I feel like it's going to flow the same, but yeah, no pressure.
It gets you excited to hear Traci say, I want to know who has dogs and who doesn't.
It's selflessness, right? Yeah. Like connection. And I come from a world where for, 9 years of my life, it was like, you work all the time and like, you're up early, you're working all the time. We used to say, if you can leave early, do it, because the Air Force will get that time back. Right. So coming into something like this, it's like you have to have people around you that you can trust so that you don't yourself do too much, and get burnt out and all that. So our flow is really nice. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
That's some of the stuff I'm thankful to be here too. I was the Vince in Ohio. I was the Harmony. I was the Rennie. I was the Mandy. I was and I'm thankful to have like one focus now. Like I can really do one thing very, very well. I felt like I was very, pulled very thin there and just trying to be everything to everyone. And that's exhausting. So I'm very excited to just kind of have one focus and like that be my thing. So. Yeah,
that's awesome. Favorite food, Traci?
Mexican, yum, yum.
Yeah.
Snack, popcorn. Popcorn, almost every night, popcorn.
How are you doing your popcorn, though? There's a lot of ways now. So when you go to the popcorn aisle, there are 40 different salts and jalapeno cheddar and all that.
Yep. Nope. I buy Amish popcorn, and I did find where I can buy it down here. So Amish baby ladyfinger is what it's called. It's tiny little baby kernels. I make it on the stove, like old-fashioned kind, like on the stove.
Wow, glad I asked.
Yeah, I do put the Orville Redenbacher's butter on it because that's my favorite taste. So I put the Orville Redenbacher butter on it. Sometimes I add a flavor, like the new shaky flavors onto it. But yeah,
she's putting the extra in the extraordinary of popcorn.
I'm telling you, if I ever tell you I'm making popcorn, you say, "Oh yes, please."
We got to figure out. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even understand some of the things you said, but I'm a fan already. You clearly take your own.
And are you melting the butter? You're melting the Orville Redenbachers also?
No, no.
When you say I want to make popcorn, at the time you actually get to take your first bite, how long are we talking?
It's not long. 7 minutes.
Okay.
Not long.
Lord,
look, Bruce is chiming in that the Amish make a dill flavored salt and that their popcorn is amazing as well. Who knew?
Are you kidding me? I'm going grocery shopping for popcorn. Jared, look at it. The Amish making dill flavored salt. You can put on your popcorn. Bruce says it's amazing. Now, how did I know Bruce would chime in when we start talking about food? I figured we have a lot in common. Bruce and I do. That's pretty cool. So, how in the world did I not know that about you, popcorn? That's funny. All
Nick,
the time.
Tell your nickname, Tracy. What I'm already calling you it, but what do people call you?
Yeah, we're gonna go with Tink.
Tink.
For Tinkerbell, a maker of magic.
She makes magic. She's a magical little fairy that floats around now the span of the Grand Strand and farther and beyond.
Yeah, and beyond.
I don't know. We're gonna call ourselves Remax Beyond next. I don't know.
Right?
That's funny.
Yeah, Tinkerbell.
Popcorn, man. So when
I
you
need
go
a magic wand.
I can't let go of this Tink. Yeah, I can't let go of this Tink. I got to ask you this: when you go to the theater, do you go to the movies?
Yeah,
Do you
I love movies.
Do you take your own, or do you?
No, I buy it there, which I really like movie theater popcorn. So yeah, I definitely add more butter, add more salt.
I don't care if there's even a movie going on. I just got to get the popcorn.
Right? I do that.
Jeremy,
I wonder if they have Amish dill flavored pixie dust. That sounds bad, but we could mix a couple of different things here. What about hobby, Tracy? If you had an hour or 10, what would you do with it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what my favorite thing to do is tap dance. So I tapped as a kid and loved every minute of it. I left it, I was 12 or 13 or something. You move on to other things. And I picked it back up as an adult. I was like, I just want to do some exercise that I love. I want to see if I can get back into this, see if it's exercise for me, see if it's something I enjoy. And I went to my first adult tap class and I left and I cried. I was so fulfilled. So I try to tap as much as I can anymore. So I did find Coastal Dance Academy has some adult classes that I'm going to start taking. They start a new session here in October. So I've got my tap shoes in the car at all times. Don't ask me to tap for you, but they're always in the car, ready to go. So tapping is one of my favorite things. Yeah, it really lifts my soul.
Okay, so I've got to put you on the spot. So next Wednesday is Recharge.
Yeah.
We got to get you up there tap dancing. We're going to have the gala. How about the gala? We got to do it at the gala.
Tracy, I've got a few months away. I've got a treat for you. I have like three guy best friends. One of those three guys is a Broadway tap dancer. Not kidding. Grew up here. After COVID, pre-COVID, he gets on stage with Harry Connick Jr. on Broadway. I go see his first show. He's tap dancing on a 40-foot-long grand piano with Harry Connick. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a dream.
He now lives in Little River, and he has a career now, and he does his thing, but he is still doing tap intensives and trainings. And also, I will get you with Aaron. His name's Aaron Burr.
I would love that.
His name's Aaron Burr, John Burr the Fourth. If you're out there listening, I'll send you this, Aaron. But we'll get you exclusive time with Aaron Burr in the studio. And the kid is amazing. He's selfless as well. He's one of us. So
awesome. Oh, I would love that. Jeremy, on the stove.
On the stove. That's amazing.
It's got to have oil. The oil has to be oil. I'm feeling bad.
This doesn't feel right. For me, this feels like a 20-minute deal.
Yeah. I feel bad. I haven't mentioned my kids at all. So I want to connect with people that have kids. So Mike and I have a blended family of 4 adult kids. We have a 20-year-old, we have a 22-year-old, we have a 24-year-old, and we have a 27-year-old. So 2 boys and 2 girls. Our oldest is 27, Bradley. He lives in Kansas. He's finishing up his master's degree in geology at University of Kansas. He should be done with that in the spring. Our second daughter, Brooke, is in Ohio. She's working for a grading company. They make grates. She's a project coordinator. My son, Alec, is in Cincinnati. He graduated there this past spring. He's looking for his forever job, working hard at that and working some jobs and trying to, figure out what he's going to do. But working hard nonetheless, loves it, and loves the city. Like I was never a city girl, but he went to the city and he loves the city. So, and then our youngest still comes back and forth. She's a sophomore at Bowling Green in Ohio, and her name's Brenna. We love all of them so much. Brenna, Brooke, Alec, and Bradley.
Where's the blending? So two boys, 2 girls.
I have 1 son. So interesting. Alec fits the rest of them are BRs. Bradley, Brooke, Brenna, and then Alec. So
got it. Look at there.
They're all mine. But yeah.
There's the Bobert 8080.
That's Alec. That's my son
Yeah.
Alec, and that's our dog Linus.
Oh, is that Linus?
I think
Yeah.
it's Linus actually on the keys typing today.
It could be.
That's so funny. Okay, we're wrapping up here, believe it or not. If you guys have any more questions, throw them out there. I never thought we'd go an hour, but my goodness, you're so natural at this. You're going to get an invite to be a co-host at some point because you're very good at podcasting.
Okay.
Don't try your own show yet. Because
I won't.
1 out of 63,000
that
3 years. But you're welcome anytime on this one. I can tell you that much. But my favorite part of the show, most people didn't get to see. Oh, Lori wants to know what kind of dogs you have. She has a Chiweenie, and she has 2 Frenchies, French bulldogs.
Yep.
She hasn't picked any of them up to show them their faces, but you just saw Linus. Linus is the Chiweenie.
Yeah.
We have an agent in Florence, Tracy, Lorenzo, who bred. I think he's done with it now. Frenchies.
Somebody mentioned that to me, and maybe it was Tad. Somebody mentioned it to me. Yeah.
Yeah. He.
Don't tell me that though. Don't tell him that because don't tell Mike that.
Oh look, Jeremy wants to bring you on Tink to go live on one of his shows, which will have more than the 20 folks we've had watching. It'll have, thousands potentially.
Sounds fun, Jeremy. Let's do it.
We're staying consistent though, Vince. Don't you worry about it.
Yes, we are.
Lori has Irish and Golden
Doodles.
It's funny. I was at the Surfside Festival this weekend, and there was what they call a fluffy Frenchie. And this thing was the cute. I thought for sure Mandy was going to talk to me about it later on that we were going to get one because that was the cutest dog. And we have cute dogs. That was a cute dog. It was crazy. But my favorite part of this whole show, nobody got to see but me. And I wanted you to see. You probably don't even know it, Tracy.
I have no idea.
Before I let everybody into the studio, I come on like 20 minutes early. I don't know if you guys can see me or I can see you or what, but I can watch what y'all do in your little boxes before I put you in the studio. And so I could tell she's like, I picked my nose. No, you didn't pick your nose. You didn't do anything rude and crude. But what you were doing is trying to figure out a backdrop. Like I saw you had bricks behind you. You had a room behind you.
Should I do?
Like, tell me why you decided to go. I think it says a lot about you that you decided to go just wall instead of one of those backdrops. Tell me what was going through your head when you were trying to make that decision.
Well, we're moving again. So I have no art. I used to have a really cool piece of art back here. And I'm like, this is so boring. Everybody else is going to have their whole background and everything. Maybe I should do a fake background. And then I looked at the fake ones. And there's only 2 there. It's so boring and stupid. So no, I was just like, no, just go natural.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I'm patioing it because the office furniture from Amazon is still in the Amazon box, not put together. So we don't even have a place to sit in our office. So this is a different place every week. And I do this from home because the connection's perfect. So I'm with you, Tracy.
I noticed last week that Vince was in his pantry. I actually texted him. I'm like, are you in the pantry? Yep. And he was.
Because they were doing stuff and like.
You go where you have to go.
So I went to the pantry. It was quiet and I had a good connection. So.
Yeah. The cool thing, like Jeremy recommended to me not to ever use a blurry background, which I have not doing anymore. And I also, the fake ones, if you move a lot like I do, you get this trail that looks weird. Or if somebody happens to walk behind you, they might get picked up in your, it's not authentic. So I thought it was curious. I saw the brick background. I saw this other office. I'm like, she's not going to, I was waiting to see what you did before I let you in the studio because you didn't pick one. I said, I knew she wasn't going to. It wasn't good enough for you. But you had that cool picture of that old car behind you last time I did a Zoom with you.
That was in the house. That was in the house in Ohio. And it doesn't really match the coastal theme that we're going with down here. So it's at a Goodwill somewhere.
Yeah. Bless your heart you're so resilient. Like you really have uprooted yourself and we don't take it lightly. Like you are moving again. I'm so thankful that all of the things they did line up pretty cool. Once you and Mike made that decision, they fell into place the best they could. But I know there was a lot of stress behind it all. And I'll speak for our agents. They are so lucky. We're so lucky to have you here. It's going to be fun to see the impact that you have for as long as you want to with RE/MAX Southern Shores, RE/MAX Professionals. And now Remax Inspire. So we have just added a new little group to our family, which we're excited about. Some of them might be on here. I know I sent them the invite this morning. They're probably like, what is this email from this guy? But I actually, the first day I was there, one of them said, how can I find your podcast? I'm like, let me hug your neck and then I'll give you the link. But any other parting comments, Traci? Anything else you want to say before we log off of here?
No, I'm just very excited to be here, excited to work with everyone. And if you haven't met me, say hi in a, I don't know who I've met and who I haven't met. So just keep reminding me your name for a while and I'll get you.
Yeah. And thank you to your family for being here today. I used to give, this is so silly that I would say this, but I used to send my mom a card on my birthday because I didn't do anything on my birthday to be congratulated for. My mom did. And so I would send her a card. And I wanted to say to your family today, thank you for what you've done to make Traci who she is, because we are totally benefiting from it. And I know that there's been a lot of time, effort, tears, blood, sweat, all of that stuff, money, love, arguments, all of it to make who she is. And I'm so happy that you shared her with us for this time in life. Vince, you're an incredible co-host. Great to have you every time on here. Look, Jenny says she's still there. Look, Miss Guthrie's just plugging away, probably knitting as we go. She's got to run. Lori's going to go. But
bye, Lori.
Rise Up Nation, thank you for tuning in today. We'll have another episode next week. Vince is going to be hosting next Monday at 10 o'clock. You guys want to hop on, we'll send the invite out. But you guys keep staying strong, being your unique self. And if I could say one thing, in the next 30 days, pretty important time in our country. If I could just say one thing, talk less, think more, and vote.
Vote. Absolutely.
You guys, we'll see you around. Bye, Traci. Bye, Vince. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.